Hey guys, Zaz12 Eating Eternal here again, or Zaz12 for short. I finally made the Holy Skill video. Took forever though, but I'm glad I finally got it done because I can actually get back to the easy stuff after this. Okay, first things first. Shout out to Zoroben, Ranger, and Hustlers for letting me kidnap them when I needed to do those runs for Dream of Dimension. Dream of Destruction, because boy, oh boy, when I tell you some of them bosses just love giving you reflect every run. Oh boy, I could not have done that by myself. So thank you so much again, thank you so much, Zoroben, Ranger, and Hustlers for letting me kidnap you and for opening up some time in your schedule to help me get these weapons. Thank you so much if you're watching this. Okay, now for new people, Holy Skills are these unique weapons that you obtain from doing the trials. Dream of Destruction. I keep thinking about Dimension. Dream of Destruction. The level 90 version. The first time you're able to do one is at level 90, which is located in Shaxia Basin, and the second time is in Verona, level 95. If you're actually hunting Holy Skill gems, I would recommend just spamming the 91. And since now we can actually make make gems, thanks Jordan. So let me do this before we actually start doing the Holy Skill showcase. You can make the gems of the Holy Skill that you want. You just need, for two-hand weapons, you need 4. You need a copy of 4. And for the one-hand weapons, you need a copy of 3. Yep. Now that that's out the way, because pretty sure this is going to be a long video. A really long one. Even with editing, this is going to probably be 20 minutes or less. Let's hope. Let's hope it's not over 20 minutes. Okay, so let's start. First, we'll start with Warrior. I forgot to mention this, so I'll make sure to add this in later. You can purchase Holy Skills. You can purchase Holy Skills from the merchants, where you will buy the scrolls for Mimic. But you basically go right here to Holy Skill, and you can buy the Holy Skills a Holy Skill slot for each and every class. It costs 400 honor stars. Okay, for the first Holy Skill for Warrior is Battle Cry. This skill is found among swords, clubs, axes, and greatswords. What this does is it fears all enemies, and as long as the enemies are feared, they take 10% more damage. So let me get my buff up, and then fear. Yep. The damage is so good. But these are probably just because of the weak mobs. But if you plan on using Warrior a lot, get this basically for any weapon you actually want to use. If you use sword, get it for sword. If you normally use clubs or axes, spam the 90 dot until you get 3 of those weapons and make a copy for yourself. Alright, and because this is the only Holy Skill for Warrior, so I guess we can move on to Shielder. Alright, the Shielder Holy Skill is Shielder's Blessing. This skill is normally found among swords and clubs. What it basically does is it grants all party members within 50 meters block and parry. It's okay. I mean, I wouldn't use it since most shielders nowadays can cap block easily. So, not really a need for this one. On to the next one. Alright, for the Executioner, the Holy Skill for Executioner is Execution. Basically, it does normal damage until the target is below 50%. If the target is below 50% HP, it will do triple hit, and it will increase their damage taken by 10%. Good? Maybe. Because if you play Executioner, yes, this is good. This is good. Go ahead, slap this on your Reaper, your Awakened Reaper, like most of you are gonna do anyway. Yeah, because everybody's running double and triple hit nowadays. So yeah, this would be right up their alley. For Glacier Knight, we have the holy skill, Ice Blast. Now, for Ice Blast is mostly found among Reapers only. They're pretty sure there aren't any for swords. I've checked. So what Ice Blast does is, for when you have the skill, when you have the toggle buff on Frozen Knight's Blessing, what it usually does is you will have to use Rimblade Thrust and Frost Flourish 3 times to get whatever beneficial things they have if you stack it 3 times. But if you have the Frozen Knight's buff on and you use Ice Blast, you get 1 stack of both of those buffs. So let's say if I had 1 stack of Rimblade Thrust and Frost Flourish, and then I used Ice Blast, and it hit the enemy, both of those stacks would go from 1 to 2. It basically gives you 1 stack each. Now, would I recommend this? There's few people actually using this class, so if you like Glacier Knight and you plan on using it, go for it. If not, I wouldn't. Just, use it for sand. Alright, Blood Knight. The holy skill for Blood Knight. Zeloff's Law. Basically, this is one of those really unique skills, buffs. Because while you have the holy weapon equipped for Zeloff's Law, here's the kicker. You permanently get 50% move speed, 50% double hit rate, and 25% triple hit rate. Did you get that? As long as you have this holy weapon equipped and you have the buff on, you will permanently have 50% move speed, 50% double hit rate, and 25% triple hit rate. It's not draining your MP, it's not draining your health. It's just permanent as long as you have the holy weapon equipped. If you actually plan on playing Blood Knight, I would highly recommend you get this. Alright, so now we have the holy skills for Paladin. Okay, so apparently Paladin has 3 holy skills, 3 different holy skills. 2 that are for support and 1 that's actually an attack one. So we'll do the support ones first. So the first holy skill for Paladin is Elemental Grace. What this does is it increases element resistance 10 by 10 and recovers our MP by 34. And for some reason you can't upgrade it. I have to try. You can't upgrade it at all. It's just 34 HP. It just heals you 34 HP. But the element resist is nice. So you know how Templar has that default characteristic passive that basically makes them immune to stun and increases their physical resistance? Well, with this neat little holy skill, you can actually give that same passive to people. The holy skill, the second support holy skill for Paladin is remote passive. It basically gives any person of your choosing the Iron Will characteristic passive. Since the cooldown is long though, and you can only give it to one person and not a party. It's neat, but I don't see people using it. Next one. Alright, for the final, for the for the actual offensive holy skill for Paladin, it is Spinning Hammer. It's literally just spinning hammer. Spinning hammer. Basically what it does is lowers move speed by 25%. That's pretty much it. I mean, you can actually combine this with the other holy skills if you have that mace, that level 95 mace. But see, the thing with holy skills is you can't use the gems or the level 95 weapons. It has to be 100 weapons. So I guess we can move on now to Dragon now. Alright, Dragon Soul. Now the holy skill for Dragon Soul is, some may say, simple. Dragons. The holy skill for this is named Dragon's Wrath. What it is, it decreases P crit, M crit, and accuracy 5%. No, P crit, M crit by a certain number, and accuracy by 5%, and it stacks to 4. And when it stacks to 4, once the accuracy hits the 4th stack, it gives the person a debuff for skill failure rate by 10%. So I don't know if you should get this, because most people aren't using the level 95 awakening heavy agility heavy. Because if I was using it, well, I am using it. If I had the awakened pike, I would pop this gem more into my awakened pike, and I would be lowering people's accuracy by 50%. Think about it. This buff alone does like 20, and your armor, if you hit somebody 5 times, is 30. So you're lowering somebody's accuracy by 50%. I'm telling you, some people shouldn't have ditched the 95 awaken so easily. They're still good. Alright, Dragon Emperor. Dragon Emperor has 2 holy skills. Let me show you the first one. The first one is Flame Charge. I think it's Flame Dragon Charge. It rushes all enemies within a certain amount of range, and if you hit them twice, if you hit them with the skill twice, they become immobilized. So yeah, this reminds me of when I used to play the base Dragon Knight. Alright, the second holy skill for Dragon Emperor, Dark Dragon Strike. It lowers move speed by 25% and lowers their fire resistance by 5. So this is obviously for the magic Dragon Emperor people. Because I believe most people are running hybrid now. So if you're one of those people who run pure magic DPS, Dragon Emperor, please get this skill. This will help you. Alright, so the one holy skill for Assassin is Poison Dagger. You know how Halflings have that ratio skill where they throw their daggers, and I think it was the level 60 one, where they throw their weapon and it poisons you? This is basically that. But the good thing about this is, with Sudden Stab, if you don't know what Sudden Stab is for new people, Sudden Stab is a buff for Assassin, which increases certain skills by 70% and it stacks it to 3. Well, Sudden Stab works with this skill and it increases it by 50 instead of 70. So that's pretty neat. I mean, I don't see anybody using that. Hell, I don't see anybody even using the Awakened Daggers. But just in case somebody actually does go out of trouble to get it, you know, get this holy skill, you'll be pretty destructive. The Kage the Kage holy skill is Ninjutsu Flash Step. Once you use it, you get 30% move speed, and this skill can be used in combat. So, but it's mostly found among daggers. I'm saying it all out of order. Okay, it's found among daggers, and you get move speed buff every time you use it. but it's only 30%. It doesn't stack or anything. And you can use it in combat. Now, before most of you people start saying, wow, that kind of sucks. No, you know what sucks? You know what really sucks? There's a skill that zoomies have that's basically a better version of this flash step. Our flash step throws us 100 feet across wherever, and we get a large P crit increase. Oh, but guess what? We can't use it in combat. Jordan, if you're watching this, please fix this. Okay, now we're getting into the martial artist holy skills. So for Asura and other martial artists, they have two. They have two each. So for the first one of Asura is suppressing slam. What it does is it increases damage taken by 20% for 5 seconds, I believe, and the cooldown is 3. No, other way around. The cooldown is 5 seconds, and this is you only get the debuff on it for maybe 3 seconds. So let me just tell you right now, yes, you need this. If you plan on getting your Awakened Cestus, please get this. Just please get this skill. The other one is nice for tanking and all that, but get this one. Alright, the second holy skill of Asura, Hidden Power. It increases your move speed by 40%, and your accuracy and evade by a certain amount. And additionally, every time you're hit, you take 1% less damage, and this stacks to 15. So, like I said, this is only if you're going to be using the tank mode of Asura, where it leeches and increases your element resistance and evade and all that. If you're not going to be using that, then don't waste your time getting this. Just get Suppressing Slam and slap it on your Awakened Cestus. Alright, now we're getting to the holy skills of Rakshasa. Now, of course nobody's going to really use this class as much, because the cast speed and all that, but I'm not even going to get into that. I'll get into that whenever I review this video. Review this class. Okay, so the holy skill, because this has two. One of the holy skills for Rakshasa is Almighty Push. It pushes the enemies back, and when it pushes them back, it does 5%. It does equal to 5% of their HP when they're pushed back. Is this good? Yes, but the other one, the next holy skill that's coming up, seems better. Alright, last holy skill of Rakshasa. Now, this is the skill I personally would go for, the holy skill. Energy Explosion. It increases damage dealt by 30%, cast speed by 15%, and move speed by 20%. The big kicker, besides that damage, is the cast speed. If cast speed is such a problem, if you use this buff, you might, depending on your stats or your agility, whatever, you might be able to instant cast all the time. Now, the only drawback is, once the buff wears off, you lose 15% move speed, and you do 10% less damage. And honestly, this is one of those unique buffs, because can you really even call that a drawback? No, you can't. Don't at me. I'm positive that's not even, you can't even consider that a drawback. Alright, Blade Acrobat. The holy skill for Blade Acrobat, Awakened Firebird Dance. What it does is it absorbs 10% of the damage you do and turns it into HP, and you have a 25% chance to triple hit. Seems good, right? Now, would I recommend this skill? Absolutely not. I would rather you throw a courage gem into your sword or whatever than get this skill. Why? Because it has a cooldown. Remember, maybe before this would have been okay, but the fact that the revamped Blade Acrobat main skill, Blade Sword Dance, that main skill has no cooldown whatsoever. So why would you get this? I just don't see a reason to do that. The main skill has no cooldown. in the time, in those 4 seconds, in the 4 seconds it takes for this skill to reload, I would have done almost 3 times more damage with just spamming sword dance. So no, please do not waste your time getting this holy skill. Alright, so now we're on to Elegant Dancer. Now, this skill is mainly for protecting the party, of course. It's called Dancer Protection. What it does is it decreases all physical critical damage and magical critical damage by 20%. It spreads it throughout the party. It's pretty good because if you've ever done any of the 10-man 100 trials, you know that for some unholy reason they always crit. Like they crit so often, like very often actually. I'm not gonna go into it. Next holy skill, because Elegant Dancer has 2, and I'm honestly shocked Blade Acrobat didn't get 2, considering how good it is. But maybe that's why, because it was already good enough. Alright, final holy skill of Elegant Dancer. Now this one is a simple one. It basically strikes a target 5 times. Quintuple. It deals damage to a target, striking them 5 times. It's pretty good actually. But the sad part is Elegant Dancer is not meant for damage. It's basically just meant for support. But I wouldn't be surprised if somebody like Ranger or fucking Richard somehow knew how to break it. Wouldn't be surprised at all. In fact, I would probably be the first one on the forum saying how bullshit it is that they were able to do that. Anyway. Next one. Alright, one of the 2 holy skills for Blade Master is, one of them is Blade Master's Belief. Now, what this does is, it increases your move speed 40%, damage taken 10%, and the skill, Jade Steps, the damage increased by 30%. And, while you have this buff on, you become completely immune to fear. It's okay. I mean, compared to the other holy skill we're gonna get to in a second, it's not that good. Cause unless you're like if you plan on doing some PvP stuff, then yeah, you can make a separate katana besides your main one and put this holy skill on. But besides that, it's not really worth it because the other one's actually pretty good. Alright, the second and final skill for Blade Master is Power Draining Slash. Basically, do the normal combo you usually would with Blade Master and just end it off with Power Draining Slash. Since it has no cooldown, you can spam it as much as you like. Well, the other ones don't have cooldown either. But once you, basically if you do the normal combo and end it off with Power Draining Slash, you basically get an attack up while you give them an attack decrease. That's essentially what this is. You gain attack by draining theirs. Kinda like Blood Knight, but not really. It's still neat. It's the one I will be using. Alright, Master Fencer Holy Skills. The first out of the 2 is Awakened Purgatory. What this does is it attacks people within a straight line, lowers their defense, accuracy, P crit, M crit. That's pretty much it. Nothing much to add there. That's all it does. Now, if you were to run and you decided, hey, this is pretty cool, I want to use this holy skill, you might have to set it up. Like you would have to lure them into a corner like this and then keep spamming it then. Because, well, you can't spam it, but if you were to use it, that's how you would have to use it. You have to get into a corner and use it from there. Next and final skill, holy skill for Master Fencer is Awakened Lunar Trance. Basically, it's just a fan type. It's a fan type skill, and it works well with the KP too, because at its base, if you what was the skill? If you use Eclipse, while they're buffed or whatever, it removes 2 debuffs, but with the KP it'll remove 3. That's, most people say get this one though, and I'm just like, because they're good. I'm looking at them and they're good, but I don't know. I don't think I'll be getting either right now. So at least see how you would run with one of them. Let's go. Trainer, Awakened Trainer, Holy Skills. Has 2. First skill, Spirit Breaking Arrow. It decreases the target's attack, aim attack, and defense 10%. It's pretty good for debuffing. Would you get it? No. No way in hell. No. The next skill is one of those super unique buffs. Just like Blood Knight. Don't even think about getting this one. It would be a waste on whatever weapon you decide to put on. Don't do that to yourself. Alright, remember Blood Knight? Yeah, this is one of those skills, except for Trainer. So, this skill is called Battle Stance. What Battle Stance does is, it increases your P attack 15%, move speed 40%, and here is the best part of this buff. It increases every single one of your skills to have a 25% chance to double hit. And it's a permanent. It's a permanent buff as long as you have the weapon. It doesn't decrease MP or HP. Probably the best skill for a bow, for your Awakened bow. Time for Devil Hunter Holy Skills. Nobody really uses this, but it's still gotta showcase it. Now, the first holy skill is Slow Shot. Now, what this does is it lowers their move speed by 10%, stacking to 5, and additionally, each time the skill connects with them, it increases the meters of the skill by 3 plus 3, and that stacks to 5. So essentially, 15% meter boost, and once it stacks to 5, and 50% move speed reduction. Would you use it? I mean, yes. This has some serious trolling potential if you do it correctly and you have the right trophies. This has some serious trolling potential. See how far I can go. Nope, not that far. It's still pretty good. I don't have to tell you guys to don't waste your time on this. I hope I don't. Don't waste your time on this. Final holy skill of Devil Hunter. This one is a simple one as well. Hits the target 4 times. It's called Quadruple Volley. It just hits the target 4 times. That's it. Hits the target 4 times. Nothing special. No gimmick to this, just hits the target 4 times. Huh. It's kind of sad nobody actually uses Devil Hunter. Seems like a good class. So, yeah. Now we're doing the Mecha classes. The holy skills for Mecha. Now, there's only one good one on here. So I'll just get the bad ones out the way first. First bad one anyway, is Slime Grenade. It just does triple hit nature damage and lowers their move speed by 20%. That's all. Nothing special at all. Final holy skill of Mecha, Overdrive. Now what Overdrive does is it increases your damage dealt by 30% and your move speed by 50% as long as you have this holy weapon on. But once the buff wears off, then you can kind of figure you get damage dealt. It lowers your damage dealt by 10% and move speed by a certain amount. The only thing, because if this was like Energy Explosion, this would be perfect. but considering the fact that the cooldown is 20 seconds, then yes, you know when to use this. One of the Annie holy skills, because Annie has two. The first one is Buckshot. What it does triple hit damage within a fan-shaped area and pushes the caster back once it's cast. Would I use it? No. Because, well, as you saw when I did the DR shenanigans, this wouldn't help at all. Now the final skill of Annihilator is Project Annie, and as cool as it sounds, the skill is actually pretty neat. What this is, this little robot, this mini robot, and what it does is once it hits the enemy, it lowers their pierce resistance by 10 and their defense by 10%. So I would say get this. I would say mostly get this just for the debuffs, because it's really good if you're debuffing. Because most bosses now aren't the peers, but when they are, this would just carry. This would completely carry. All right, lethal arrow. The class nobody really uses. The holy skill for lethal arrow is Vital Point. It attacks the target, and if the target's HP is below 40%, it'll start doing double damage. Isn't a chance, but it's guaranteed all the time. So that's pretty neat. Celestial Arrow, and oh boy, this, out of all the holy skills, I honestly think Celestial Arrow has got the worst one. The name of the holy skill for Celestial Arrow, since it only has one, is Celestial's Blessing, which increases all your element resists by 10 and your defense by a certain amount. Why is this the worst one, you ask? Because if you go to base ranger and you buy the level 72 skill, it's literally, and I mean in every way, it's literally the same skill just with a different name. Let's go Reaver. Alright, the holy skill for Reaver is called, because it has two as well, the name for this one is Shadow's Escape. It grants you 50% move speed, and when the buff is over, it turns you invisible. So this is a great way to get out of combat. If you were being chased in territorial war and you managed to not die, you escape. Use this and you'll be able to hide or whatever. The second holy skill for Reaver is Reaver Chains. Now this is arguably the best one. I can guarantee this is the best one for Reaver. Just for the simple fact that it gives you a debuff. Okay, so let me explain. Reaver Chains hits the target double hit, and it gives them the Reaver Chains debuff. What this debuff does is it basically gives them a 10% chance to get immobilized every time it's on, for as long as it's on. See, here's the good thing about it. It doesn't have immobilizing immunity, so as long as you can keep applying it while they're chasing you, they're going to get stuck eventually. Let's see if I can get it on here. Okay, let's see if I can get him to get stuck. Because it's a 10% chance. Basically, it'll trigger because it's a 10% chance. Yep, there we go. Did you see that? He just got stuck. So yeah, if you plan on using Reaver, get this skill. Because this skill seems like it's going to be used for territorial war anyway. Rifleteer. Zest for Strike, the holy skill for one of the holy skills for Rifleteer is Zest for Strike. What this does is you hit the target, it hit triple hits, and once it hits, they get the sluggish state. What the sluggish state does is it lowers their move speed, cast speed, and attack speed by 15%. That's really good for debuffing. But you know, because this one and the next one that I'm about to talk about, you can go either way. You can only pick one. Draining Burst, the second and final holy skill for Rifleteer. So what does this skill do? Well, it increases normal attack damage by 15%. It increases your attack speed by 10%. And here's the kicker: it's one of those unique buffs. As long as you have the holy weapon thing, it just has a small cooldown. So your normal attacks will now deal 15% damage. You get 10% attack speed, and the best part about this skill, all your damage, all your auto attack damages will turn into heals. It's basically a leech skill. Let's see. So if you ever wanted to know what it would be like if we had any type of leech, any type of life leech skill for any of the range classes, that's essentially what it would be. In fact, this is probably the closest you'll get to having one. Finally, we're moving on to the healing classes. We're almost done. Now, Adjudicator only has one, so this skill is called Turn Off Your FX. No, I'm kidding. This skill is actually called Healing Zone. While you have Healing Zone active, the main healing skill, Light of Truth, will heal an additional 5 HP to all your party members. And any of the party members in this aura right now, they gain move speed 10% and they gain evade 10%. Not evade by a certain number, not minus evade. You get evade plus 10% as long as you're in this aura right here. Now for enemies, it also gives them a debuff. They lowers their move speed 10% and their accuracy 10%. So this is overall a must-have if you main healer. Equilibrium. So the holy skill for Equilibrium is Holy Smash. It only has one. No, Equilibrium has two. One that's for offense and one that's a support. So this one is Holy Smash. It basically just pushes the enemies back. That's it. It pushes the enemies back within 15 meters or so, and that's it. That's about it. It doesn't work on bosses. The second holy skill for Equilibrium is Energy Recovery. It recovers MP to the entire party. Now, just in case you're all like, I feel like he's lying. Nope. I am on a healing class. This is legit a holy skill. Just in case. Now, it's okay. It's okay for this class, just in case you're spamming a lot of skills, but Holy Sage and Time Manipulator is better soon. The first holy skill for Battlefield Poet is Wave of Sleep. What this does is it hits the enemy with the drowsy debuff, lowering their move speed, attack speed, and cast speed. And when the debuff ends, it has a 50% chance to make them go to sleep. And while they're asleep, they take 20% damage for the next attack. Let's see if they're gonna activate. Should be activated. There we go. Yep. So it's great for PvP because it's not just one target. I believe it hits all enemies. Final holy skill, Battlefield Poet, Awakened Flame Vibrato. What this does is, well, the same as the normal version of this. It's just, this is an AoE now. That's pretty much it. This is just the AoE version of the single target skill. Life Worshiper. Life Worshiper has two holy skills just like Battlefield Poet. The first one is called Melody Protection. It increases defense. It increases defense and lowers magic damage taken. Alright, final holy skill of Life Worshiper. The name of this one is Sleep is for the Weak. Love the name, by the way. So what this does is it lowers physical damage taken and it makes you immune to sleep. Yeah, so I would recommend this one if you actually plan on like using Life Worshiper for heals. Please get this, because most bosses nowadays use physical attacks anyway, and the immune to sleep is a nice touch. Alright, Druid. Now for Druid, the Awaken skill, it only has one. The Awaken skill for this is Repressed Element. Awakened Repressed Element. 40% chance to knock them down and deal 25% damage when they're knocked down. The cooldown is pretty short, so you can shockingly spam this actually. So if you decided to run, you would actually be able to spam this. For a Total Master, the holy skill is Old School Rain. So what this does is it's an instant heal, because with Total Master you usually have to cast heals, like you have to cast. This one is instant. This is an instant heal, and with the KP, this skill will give you 15% move speed. The holy skill for Holy Sage is Sage's Protection. This is one of those good ones again, those unique buffs. So it says as long as you have this equipped, as long as you have this holy skill on, you will heal however amount. So I leveled it to 97. So this skill, Sage's Protection, at 97, every hit, for every time I'm hit, I heal almost 3,800 HP back. Yeah, there we go. 3.7. It's pretty good if you have some really tanky holy sages. Angel of Justice. Now, Angel of Justice, God, it's not really a good skill. In fact, no one's gonna go out of their way to get this. This is basically, the name of the skill is Awaken Forbidden Wall. What this does is lower the EV and immobilizes them for a minute. That's it. Unfortunate, really, because I actually like Angel of Justice because of how strong it was. Arch Elementus. Now this class only has one holy skill, and arguably it's the best holy skill for this class, because it's one of those unique buffs, just like Battle Stance from Trainer. This is just like that. So it's called Element Reversal. So as long as you have this holy weapon equipped, you will have this buff. So what this buff does is basically it makes every single one of your elemental skills do 10% more damage. So let's say, because I built wind, I built the wind way, and if I use element reversal and then click the lightning stance with the element reversal, then all my wind skills will do 10% more damage. The same if I built lightning, I would have to pick nature, so all my lightning skills would do 10% more damage, etc., etc. Alright, Gravity Manipulator. Now this skill is basically just a dark version of the normal one, Feather of Darkness. You can jump with this skill as well. So think about it this way: instead of running to Equilibrium or Demon Tamer or Demon Tamer from the Elu category, you can actually just hop on GM, have this holy skill, throw it in your best staff, and then just you can break them with dark and light. So you'll essentially be a better Equilibrium. You'll be like an Equilibrium that can jump. Demon Summoner. Now this skill, this holy skill, Darkness Calling, is my favorite, just because of how it looks. It's a triple hit, and it hits all enemies within a 40 meters, and it stuns them. But just look at this. It's so far so good. It's by far the coolest looking skill. Like, you know how we used to love on the Bears doing the Hadouken ratio? Well, this Elu essentially has its own little Hadouken. It looks so cool. I already made the gem of this. This is going on my Awakening Grim whenever I get it. This is too good. The holy skill for Time Manipulator is Elusive Wind. What this does is it hits enemies within a fan shape, and it has a 20% chance to push them back. Yes, I know most of you are thinking, isn't that just the 72 skill for base Elu? Maybe. I haven't checked it, but I know it was similar to this. So let's just move on. Demon Tamer. The holy skill for Demon Tamer is Demon's Curse. It inflicts a dot on you, on the enemy, where they take 10% of your magic attack. Now, mind you, this is a magic class, so if there are people out there who have like 30k M attack base, not 30k, 300k M attack base or whatever, this is going to do some disgusting dot damage. And when their HP is low enough, it automatically stuns them. So that's great. I'm gonna get him below. There we go. Yeah, it's not as toxic as Conjurer's in Territory War with the Worm skill, but it's still pretty good. Oh boy, Conjurer's holy skill. Oh boy, Jordan, why did you make this skill? Like, Conjurers are already OP enough with that stupid Worm skill. Why would you give him this? Okay, Conjurer's holy skill, Dark Magic. What Dark Magic does, it puts a dot on the enemy and equal to 10% of your magic attack. But that's not the worst part. As long as this buff is active, it has a 20% chance to remove one positive buff from you. Do you have any idea how stupid that is? Can you imagine a Territory War if you were running with the Mecha class and then you get hit with this, then the Worm, and then you just know you're fucked all the way and you just give up on life? It's very unfortunate, because I know most Conjurers or Conjurer mains, if they haven't already done this, they're definitely gonna jump on this. But I don't think people use magic classes in Territory War anymore. I might be wrong. We're almost done. We're on the final class. Okay, Darkness Blade. Now, wait. Before you skip, listen. I know people don't like Darkness Blade because it's not God tier anymore, but at least it's still usable. Have you seen Devil Hunter? Nobody touches that class. The same as Lethal Arrow. At least Darkness Blade is usable. Anyway, the holy skill for Darkness Blade is Dark Magic Prayer, which basically it heals the entire party's MP and HP by 10%, making them immune to the very next attack. It's similar to, it's basically a buff version of the base Luminary skill. Except instead of taking MP, it heals the party's MP and makes them immune to the next attack. The final holy skill of Holy Blade, since they only have one each anyway, I don't know why I'm saying final. Anyway, this holy skill is pretty good. It's only good for lowering crit rate though. It's called, the holy skill for this is Formation of Light. What this does is it lowers P crit and M crit by a certain number and stacks to 5. This can also be used with the jump. So, I'm honestly shocked I got through all this. But yeah, there's only a few holy skills out of this whole video that people are actually gonna run for. So I will meet you guys in Avon before I call it off. So I'd like to give a big thanks to all my viewers out there who actually who actually stayed patient with me throughout this video, because oh boy, can I tell you, when I went over this, I said all right way too many times. So basically, I'm glad that this helped, and now I can actually move on to actually doing revamped classes, because this took forever to do. Again, shout out to Zorobeard, Ranger, and Hustlers for letting me kidnap them when I needed to do these runs. So if my fans would excuse me, I'm going to make sure I'm going to go literally turn all these holy weapons that I don't need into sand, and hope I never ever have to do Doa again as long as I live, because it was a pain to do. So thank you guys so much for watching, and that's 12 out.